There it is. Incredible. The treasure of the ages. There it is. Wow.
And the moon.
The lunar age has...
But right now, we are going to brace ourselves for an incredible presentation as we introduce the outstanding Noelia Vigil. She proudly holds a degree in computer science from the University of Oviedo, and she has been working as a search software engineer in empathy for 8 years. Throughout almost her entire career here, she has been a backend developer, but in the last 3 years, she has been using Java as her main language programming. She lives here in Gijón, and in her free time, she plays the drums in a batucada band, and she rides her motorbike with her husband, so they can explore hidden places in Asturias. Today, she will share part of her experience, and so we can avoid using common patterns that cause disruption and do code review without cursing. Noelia, it's all yours.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming, and hi, everyone on the other side. Well, today, let me, I'm not sure if I'm in the correct slide. Okay. Okay. Today, well, thanks for the presentation. Today, I wanted to talk about code reviewing and the importance of code reviewing, but not in the part of the reviewers, but in the part of the person who opens a, well, I'm going to focus more in pull requests. So the person who opens a pull request. And today I'm going to talk about it with my experience and doing some examples that I did on the past. And I would like to give some advices that that make me improve my, I don't know how to say, but to make the reviewer not hating me at the end, okay? So first of all, I don't know what I did. Okay, I would like to highlight the importance of code review and why it's so important, okay? Why code review is so important? Well, it's so important because it's demonstrated that improves quality and performance. And why? Because the more people that will review your code, the more ideas it comes, and the more, the better. Also, it will reduce risks because someone can see what you haven't seen when you have doing the implementation. Also, I've said that it's easy for collaboration. Why is it easy for collaboration? Because it's easy when someone comes in a team to explain what is code review, what is opening a pull request, and to have that process in your daily life and in the day-to-day. And last, what I put on here was fast development. That is because you can increase the velocity if the previous steps were done. Because if not, what you are going to do is to do the work again, so that will cause a delay in the delivery of the implementation. So, well, okay, I will talk about my experience and also my opinion that I didn't say, but it will be my opinion, and well, you can then discuss with me. You go out of the university and you probably take a job where you are not going to be alone anymore. You're going to be with a group of people, so you have to know how to collaborate with them. And one part of it will be to have pull requests, and you have to open pull requests with them. With them, no, for them. Well, to review your code. And it's very important to pay attention on what you are going to ask the other person review, because you don't have to, you must not waste others' time. So it's very important to focus that it's not only open APR and that's it, but there are some things that can be done. And with that, I will show you some examples about what I did in the past and I didn't want to do again, and my advice for you to improve those errors and make others' life easier. So I will start with this image that is from GitHub, and is the part where you usually add the people who you want to be your reviewer. And I'm seeing on here 5 groups of people. I don't know how many people are on there. 4 more. Thanks, Cesar, for the approval. Maybe he didn't at least see the PR, but what do you think? Are all those people going to review your code? I don't think so. Why did you add so many people? You have disturbed all those people if they have notifications in the email or whatever. So my advice, my first advice is ask for the correct reviewer. And what's a correct reviewer? A correct reviewer is a person that can give you good feedback, because maybe it has more experience than you, more ideas because it's junior and you are always in the same path. And also, a good reviewer could be a person that was involved when you did the task, was involved doing pair programming or whatever. So that could be a good person. And also, not everyone has the time to review your code. So please don't ask everyone and take a few people. And that's my first tip. The second one, that's very nice because it's the title of the pull request that says develop. Okay, I know you're developing, right? So what did you try to do? Of course, you should not do that. And my second advice is choose a good title, a descriptive title. Short, if the shorter the better, in order not to have to read a lot, because developers don't like to read. And also, at least we usually work with some management tool for tasks. So if you link the task to the title, at least the title, you will be able in the future go back and see the comments of that task that probably a product owner has created, and you will see the comments on here or other comments of other persons. And in the future, you could go back and see what you wanted to do. Well, next one I put on here was the description. I really like this because GitHub gives you a description that is not description provided. Thanks. Because this happens a lot. When you go fast, when you are opening PRs and telling to your body, merge, please, this PR that you don't put a description, that's an error. Why? Because when you go back in the future to see that, you won't see the reason why of the implementation was made. So my tips on here are add a summary of the problem that was the reason for the implementation. add a summary of the implementation if it's too complicated, because if it's not, it doesn't matter. But if you had to explain someone a lot of things, is difficult if you don't explain it in a summary. Also, this is something that it's interesting for me, that is how to test it or execute it. Because when you open a PR, a pull request, maybe the other person takes time to execute it and don't know how to execute your project, or don't know where he should start doing something. Well, just explain it and you won't waste others' time. And the last one, I put it on here too, because maybe there were decisions related with the problem that must be on the pull request, and it will be nice also, for example, to add something related, like, for example, I did this development, but I couldn't end it because we need to change the whole architecture or whatever, and it's better to do the other way. Okay, the third or fourth, I don't know the number, is this one. I really like this one, because that was the start of my title. That was, I've opened a pull request and I see 523 files, and I said, what the hell? How many pages have Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone? I think it has less than those files. So please. I know. I won't do it anymore. Okay. Okay. Do the minimum change. Do specific changes, clear changes. The shorter you do it, the quickest you will review the code. And sometimes an implementation requires a lot of files to be changed. Well, separated. Probably it's better to separate it in functionalities that will be reviewed faster than reviewing a whole code of 500. I'm sure it won't be 500, but a lot of files. This is other one that I'm sure you usually have done. On here, I'm only looking at the change on the code is only 2 spaces before in each line. Okay, please. This only generates eye noise. I mean, when you do style changes in a PR, you will be focusing on some lines that, and you will be looking at those lines for a time, and you will see that nothing has changed. And usually, in a group of people developing, you have a style. You have the convention of styling, so everyone should have that, and should not have to do those kind of PRs. Also, it makes difficult to see the real changes, because sometimes there are a lot of things changed and you only wanted to change one line. And well, this last one I add on here was, well, unless it's a PR that the title says style changes and the description, I'm only changing the styles, please don't do it. And I think this is the last one. Okay, I'm not sure if on here was really well represented, but what I wanted to say on here was, look at the title. Retrieve value of search results. And then the changes are in the POM XML file, changing dependencies. Well, removing them. So I'm not seeing the relation. Please make sure that your code do what the title said. Why? Because in the future, maybe you have to come back or to see the reason why the code was changed. And you will need to search for the title or whatever. And if the change was related with other thing, you really want to know what was the origin of the problem to make that change. So that is my advice. Match the title with the content. And I think that if you go here with me, that's all. Okay, no. If you reach this part of the presentation, okay, that's all. That's all are all my advices. But I'm sure you are wondering that there are so many more. So I will give you a bonus tip. Do not forget about unit testing, integration testing. Do not forget about documentation. To pay attention on the quality. Something that you need to add for the security of the system or whatever. So please don't forget about that. And I think that's all what I wanted to say. I wanted to repeat this as a summary in order to give you the summary and just that. Please. The summary is, ask for good reviewers, add a good title and description, do small and clear changes, do that the content match with the title and description, and don't forget about the quality and documentation. That 5 tips are the ones that I wanted you to take home. And I think that's all. Thank you very much. I would like you to put this in practice. So maybe tomorrow I'm going to reach all of you. The ones at home, I don't think so, but that's all. That's all that I wanted to say. Thank you.
There it is. Incredible. The treasure of the ages.